What's up, guys? It's Peak Reacts, Rip City Rundown, whatever you know us by. Well, we just witnessed the Sixers possibly have one of the bigger choke jobs I've seen in a while. I mean, the Hawks are talented, but the Sixers just lost to a team that they really shouldn't be losing to, and that's big news for the Blazers. Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, anybody on the Sixers probably available for the right price. Hit me with something. What are your thoughts?
Well, interesting thing is Ben Simmons really struggled today. I believe he was 2 for 4 from the field. And to be honest, I was watching the game. It culminated, he just decided not to shoot a wide-open layup.
Story of Ben Simmons
with
in this
about
playoffs.
3:30 left in the game, and I think that was a direct reflection on his confidence level throughout the entire game. Now, Ben Simmons definitely did not play up to snuff. I think his weaknesses were very much highlighted. They were highlighted a lot because let's just start with hack a Ben. Hawks definitely hacked a Ben here. Yes, Ben Simmons plays good defense, but in the playoffs, if you can't shoot, if you're not a floor spacer, then you better be like Giannis, where you can drive to the paint. This is the difference. Let me just say this. This is the difference between the Bucks and the 76ers. The Bucks have a dominant ball handler / paint presence who can score at the rim, pretty much only score at the rim, doesn't really have many moves. His name is Giannis. They don't have another guy who clogs the middle of the lane. The Bucks have Brook Lopez. He has transformed his game to basically it's 3-and-D at this point. Like, he doesn't do anything than shoot threes. They call him Splash Mountain. 76ers, on the other hand, they have Embiid, who, yes, is much, much better than Brook Lopez. But Ben Simmons is like Giannis. He's going to clog up the lane. He doesn't have really post moves. He can't shoot. He has no range. He's going to get to the hole, and he's going to finish at the rim. Embiid is a paint clogger. Embiid's a big. So that's the problem.
And that's why, before I say it, Ben Simmons would probably fit kind of well with the Blazers. His stock is at an all-time low. I mean, like, 2 years ago, earlier this year, people would ask for Damian Lillard when it's Ben Simmons. But Ben Simmons is now, people probably just want to see him go. So the Blazers could realistically get him.
And I think the Blazers could use this as leverage because if you're the 76ers, if you're Daryl Morey, there is pressure to change something, kind of like where the Blazers are right now. And for the while, it's been CJ for Tobias, and maybe something else. We don't know the trade details there. But Ben Simmons, especially after the performance he put up in this series, could very well become available. And if you're the Blazers, yes, Ben Simmons, very, very bad series. Weaknesses sorely highlighted. But I believe with Damian Lillard on his team, Ben Simmons, and without a dominant presence like Embiid, because Nurk can play out more. Who knows?
At this moment, Nurk, we don't know what's going on with Nurk.
Yeah, Nurk could get moved. We don't know. But Ben Simmons, I think, would look infinitely better on this current iteration of the Blazers team. Now, is CJ for Simmons enough? Probably not. You probably have to throw in something else. But the point is, it's much more realistic now with the way he played and the way the 76ers went out.
Yeah, who knows? It could
in Game 7 at home?
It could be enough at this point. I mean, personally, my favorite trade package we could do is a little Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle. But Tobias Harris played really well in this series. And we're just focusing on 76ers products right now because that's a team that just went out and a team that's most likely going to change something.
Well, if you really think about it, there's probably, if the 76ers are going to really make a major move, it's either going to be Tobias Harris or Ben Simmons.
I think it's got to be Ben Simmons.
I think they're committed to Embiid.
For sure.
Tobias Harris offers a bit more offensive versatility in terms of, like, Ben Simmons is one of the weirdest players in the NBA.
He was so bad this series. Like, the taste in the mouth of the 76ers fans, they want him gone.
4 points, 13 assists. I mean, he's honestly like Russell Westbrook to an extent, but obviously Russell Westbrook is much better in terms of, like, shooting. But Ben Simmons is a fantastic playmaker and defender, but literally without being able to put the ball in the basket, he offered nothing to a 76ers team that needs players like that. They need a closer. I'm sorry, Tobias Harris is not a closer. And that's where CJ McCollum comes in. Now, if the 76ers don't want to trade Ben Simmons and they want to trade Tobias for CJ straight up, I think the Blazers can get a little greedy here. I don't think Tobias necessarily moves the needle on this Blazers team because I think people fail to realize that losing CJ would be a huge loss. I mean, the man averages, he was averaging 28 before he got hurt. I mean, we don't know now. I'm sorry, I'm kind of going on a rant here. But I don't think the 3-guard lineup in Portland works. And I think the Blazers are committing to re-signing Norm. So, yes, I think the Blazers will shop CJ, but I don't think they're just going to make a deal to make a deal.
Okay. The thing is, as much as I want Tobias, is his trade value more than Ben Simmons at this point? Because like, how much of this playoffs do you take and you're like, that's the Ben Simmons that's always going to be there? That's the Ben Simmons
it's interesting because the key thing you have to look at in this scenario at least is recency bias. And Tobias Harris is a much better player than Ben Simmons if you take into account this series or in terms of impact. Now, long term and probably next season, Ben Simmons will probably be a more impactful player, but it does show that Ben Simmons has a lot to work on, and if the Blazers play their cards right, it could start. You don't even have to get Ben Simmons, but it could be like you straight off the bat ask for Ben Simmons for CJ because you perceive his value to be trash, and then the 76ers can come back with like, oh, we won't give you Ben, but we'll give you Harris and Thibault, and you're like, bet.
Okay. The thing is, Daryl Morey in the past has been a very like aggressive and what's the word? Like when something goes wrong, he's quick to change. Like when Chris Paul and James Harden didn't work, he traded for Russell Westbrook. When Russell Westbrook didn't work, he traded for John Wall. When they had little success and a short stint of success with small ball, boom, Clint Capella's out the door. So I think he's a dude that kind of doesn't really let things play out.
Yeah,
and to Ben Simmons, it's going to be out the door, I think.
I expect a change. Now, it's so tough as a Blazers fan because I love CJ and I want him on the team. But if it's Ben Simmons, I think you got to take a good hard look. Now, Ben Simmons is not as his play style and the way he played in this series isn't exactly attractive.
I don't think this is who he is though. Like he's just like.
I do think without Embiid, I think he'd flourish more. Kind of like kind of like how CJ without Dame would probably put up better numbers. I mean, obviously, I just don't think. I think they got to change something. Losing in the second round as the 1 seed to the Hawks, no shame to the Hawks. I just thought they were a couple years away. For me, I thought they got a lot of good pieces in the offseason, but it was kind of like a bunch of random pieces, like Gallinari, Capella, Lou Williams. And, they have DeAndre Hunter is even playing.
Yeah, just while we're talking about the Hawks, we've mentioned it before. I mean, I know this is a little off topic, but, like, the Hawks are hitting their peak a little too early, and that's going to be bad for them.
We did make this...
False expectations are going to happen.
This correlation between the 2019 Blazers and the Hawks now. The Blazers, without Nurk, probably, not their best player, but arguably...
Hawks without Hunter.
That's what I'm saying. Hawks without DeAndre Hunter. And now the Hawks going to the Western Conference Finals with a good team, but probably
Eastern.
Eastern, thank you. Eastern Conference Finals without, a key player. I could see the Hawks, trying to run it back with this team. And, I could very well see the Hawks be a Blazers type and kind of regress next year because they are going to probably... the stage they're going to now, the Eastern Conference Finals, nobody expected them. I didn't even expect them to beat the Knicks.
Yeah, I had the Knicks winning in that first round series, but that's just a little off topic. Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, like those are the two that could very well be available this offseason. Ben Simmons in particular, and the Blazers I think should.
If you have to do CJ and another player, or CJ and a player, CJ and a pick for Simmons, do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, first off, you're going to start off by lowballing the hell out of the 76ers because Ben Simmons, again, stock is so low. Now, there could be a team out there that's just like, I'm in love with Ben Simmons and I'll give up a bunch and you lose out on him that quickly. But I think you should be calling their phone when they're available.
I agree. I think, and this CJ to the 76ers it's been Harris for a while, has been, kind of not rumored, but been a thought for a while because it just makes so much sense for both teams. The 76ers are in dire need of a closer. Seth Curry's very good. Seth Curry's not a closer. Shake Milton, not a closer. Matisse Thybulle, not a closer. And their stars, definitely. Embiid, your center can't close. Like, Jokic isn't necessarily a closer. It's Jamal Murray. Yeah. So, I think CJ could really flourish on the 76ers team. And I would take either Harris or Simmons, but I think Simmons, albeit looked really bad, would move this team in a better direction.
I just think that he's not going to be a 33% free throw shooter for a whole season, and he wasn't this year. And literally, if you just tell him you're working on your free throw shooting the whole offseason, I mean, Damian Lillard is more of a leader than Joel Embiid. Like, when you have, like, this whole time Ben Simmons has kind of been like, am I the number one? Am I not? Like, until this past year.
You saw it tonight. He was to me, he was told clearly before the game, like, just do not shoot.
He has no role. Like, he doesn't know his role. Or he has a role. He doesn't know it.
It's defense and playmaking, but, I mean, you're playmaking to Embiid. And Embiid is more ISO, I feel like.
Yeah, and you're not lobbing it up to Embiid. You're passing it to Embiid, and he's going to dribble for 4 seconds.
Even Tobias didn't really feel like I don't know.
Tobias went 8 for 24 tonight.
The
They just didn't look
the
good.
roles were not clearly defined on that 76ers team. So I think the Blazers could pounce. That's kind of all we got. Be on the lookout for trade rumors, probably for anyone for Ben Simmons, because I have a gut feeling that the 76ers will do something in the offseason, like you said, with an aggressive GM. But we will see. Comment below if you want to see Ben Simmons in a Blazers jersey. I personally would not mind it. I think it'd make the team better.
Peace.